Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And there's a big developing story, and it's a big one. I'm not really surprised. The only fact that I am surprised on is that it's happening so soon. I thought it would last a bit longer, but I guess it's not feasible. So this was exclusively revealed by Business Insider. I'll leave the link to the article in the description down below. There's a paywall, but I got the article for you guys here anyway, so I will scroll and then you guys can pause and read it for yourselves. I'll briefly summarize it for you, but there's a big issue with T-Vision. And that's something that I think should have been internally already brainstormed, analyzed as to what would happen if this were to happen. And it's exactly happening. So to kind of give you guys a summary and the backstory. So T-Mobile price points for T-Vision is 40, 50, 60, which is, I think it's greatly priced. I just didn't think it could stay at that pricing. And that's exactly what's happening. And T-Mobile was in way over their head on this one. So they bought Layer 3 TV at I think it was $325 million back then. That was something that was decided on under John as CEO. That's nothing that Mike Sievert had to do with at that time. Of course, sure, I'm sure he put in his common sense and they probably asked him for his opinion. They all brainstormed this, but this was something done under John. So what's happening now is there are several issues with the product, and this is people that are familiar with the matter. Again, this is not a concrete source. They're not going to say their names. This was the same process during the merger. These are people familiar with the matter, and it's not one, it's two. It's two people familiar with the matter. The fact that the Business Insider, which is a credible company, is reporting on this makes it even more credible. The fact that it comes with people familiar with the matter. So what's happening? So I want to kind of briefly talk about it. So in my experience, I've used the product. I've been using it. And I'm glad that I've been able to use it and that I chose to review it, because there was a lot wrong with it, but it also had its good points. So the app on Apple TV worked smooth and great, but it's still missing channels. That's what's keeping some people from switching to the product. It's not necessarily the best quality of product compared to its competition. Some people are telling me they have fiber and the product is coded at 720p with a fiber connection. That doesn't sit well with some. Why limit your quality when you have the speed to back it up and then some? So that's what some are arguing. Then there's still 60 frames per second is missing. The CW, CBS, and I'm sure a couple of other channels are not on this package as well. Why is that the case? T-Mobile wanted to offer this to serve its customers, so they were likely operating this at a loss to begin with. Just to serve customers, it's another investment in the base, and if they are able to get these add-ons on the account, that strengthens the account and likely helps with retention, and then also the average price per account does go up. Why is this backfiring? And this is something mind-blowing in my opinion. Is this a backtrack? Is this a failure on T-Mobile's management? I'm sure there's plenty blame to go around. So I'll read a brief quote from the article. So, real quick here, which one? Give me 1 second. Yeah, see, T-Mobile is coming up on renewal talks with some programmers for T-Vision, which will force the company to decide whether to proceed with the offering, set those people who are familiar with the company. The service is still being advertised on T-Mobile's website. So yes, I was able to confirm that last night with some sources. They were still selling it as of yesterday. There were actual accounts created yesterday, paying accounts for paying customers that got the product. What really throws me off is how did they not anticipate programmers to raise pricing? TV is a cutthroat industry. Contract negotiations are happening all times. At all times. They had to have anticipated that the programmers were going to start knocking and they would want more money. So there is no way that they further get into a loss on this product. There's just no way. And if they remove more and more channels from the product, people are just not going to get it, or they're going to leave it. And that's what I also am anticipating is happening, that a lot of customers that have signed up with the product have left the product quite quickly. I've had some tell me they couldn't even do 20 minutes with the product and they already went back to the old provider. That's how cutthroat it is, because it's so quickly to switch. It's literally an app. You just call, have it canceled, and then you sign back up with the other app. So that's just something that's just mind-boggling to me. And then there's another quote as well here that I wanted to point out. It says, "The venture has had a slew of problems since day one, and a small group of senior executives have been huddling about its future, leaving the other staffers out of the loop, upset, confused." That just makes no sense. Are they having an internal fight about this product? Some want to keep it, some want it gone. I mean, it just sounds like a big old mess, in my opinion, at this point. I think they really just need to get rid of it. If you want my honest opinion, their heart is not in media. So there are additional software updates and tweaks that need to continuously come out to make it better and better and better. T-Mobile is not invested in that. That's not going to happen. You're literally at the mercy of having to pray if these software updates are going to come, if these channels are actually going to be added for that same price. You're left to guess at this point, because they are not a media company. I've spoken with another source of mine that works for another company in the wireless industry. I'm not going to name the company, but he has been telling me for years now that some of the smaller tweaks and changes that we think on the consumer side is maybe cheap or easy to do, in return, a software tweak and update for T-Mobile on T-Vision could cost them millions of dollars. Millions. I know that sounds crazy, but it could cost them millions. Just little tweaks like changing numbers on the pamphlets or software or revamping an app, that costs millions to the carrier. So that's something. Is T-Mobile really going to invest millions or even billions back into T-Vision just to get it operational and running smooth and closer to the competition? No, that's not happening. They're not going to further dig themselves into a hole just to offer TV. It's not going to happen. They have a wireless segment that's successful according to their business plan, and home internet is likely going to be successful for them. They already have 100,000 people added. So again, T-Vision likely does not fit into that business strategy. They likely just said, hey, look, John bought it. We got to try to do something with it and we'll launch it. And they did launch it, but I think it was a mistake. I really think it was a mistake to launch it, based on the fact that the programmers are going to start asking for increases and the software tweaks that needed to be made. The mobile app and the iPad app, they still don't have picture-in-picture. I mean, there's just a lot of tweaks that need to be made. And based on the experience of me actually using it, AT&T TV is still far better, and I'm even hearing YouTube TV is running laps around it. So again, this is just my take on it. I'll just go ahead and swipe over to the remaining so you guys can pause it for yourselves and read it. But right now they are faced with brutal decisions. Do we raise prices? That's likely not going to go over well. Do we just cut our ties with it and leave it alone? I think that's the best decision at this point. If you go from 40 to 50, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, you're going to be right up there with the competition, and YouTube TV at $65 is going to eat your lunch. That's just how I see it. I'm not trying to be negative, but it's just a fact. They went in over their heads. They're backtracking. This may also likely cause people to lose confidence in the company going forward with anything else. If you're going to make this type of mistake, what else are you making mistakes on? That's just to take of mine. They shouldn't have never launched this. They should have kept it tucked away if it was going to be this big of a problem for them. They paid the Moby TV, they gave him like a loan of like $70 million because they filed Chapter 11. I mean, it's just a mess. It's just a mess in my opinion. So I want to hear from you guys in the comment section down below on this. I definitely look forward to reading the comments on this one. So if you have been on the channel or you're new to the channel, you have not yet liked, shared, subscribed, make sure you do so. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when I do upload content. Make sure to follow the social media outlets for more updates and interactions. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.